It was the start of spring break. He had just finished med school exams, and he was out celebrating with friends. Security footage shows Brian Shaffer walking into a bar, but not walking out. No back exit, no footage missed, just gone. Welcome to Whispers of the Unsolved, where even silence leaves a trail. On March 31st, 2006, 27-year-old Brian Shaffer went out with friends to celebrate the start of spring break. They stopped at a popular spot in Columbus, Ohio called the Ugly Tuna Saloona, a 24-hour bar and grill with a dance floor and a pool table. Brian and his buddies were there to let loose after weeks of studying. Surveillance cameras captured Brian entering around 1:15 a.m. He was seen talking to two women just outside the bar. Then he went back inside, and that was the last time anyone saw him. The bar was located on the second floor of a complex with only one known public entrance, covered by security cameras. Footage showed Brian going in, but it didn't show him coming out. He was never on camera again. He didn't call anyone, didn't use his credit cards, didn't go back to his apartment, and never showed up for the trip to Miami he had planned with his girlfriend. When Brian didn't answer his phone, his friends assumed he had fallen asleep. When his roommate came home later that morning, he found Brian's keys on the kitchen counter next to an empty beer bottle. Brian wasn't in their apartment, but his cell phone was on his bed. His laptop was open, his clothes were in a pile on the floor. It looked like he had been waiting for something. Brian was reported missing that evening after he failed to show up for work at the hospital. Search teams combed through the bar, the building, nearby dumpsters, tunnels, and rooftops. Nothing. No sign of foul play, no physical evidence, no witnesses. Brian had vanished. Days turned into weeks, then months. The case went cold. Some speculated that Brian may have slipped out through a service exit or disguised himself and walked out unnoticed. Others believed something happened inside that bar that night, perhaps a drug overdose or a fight that left him unconscious. There was speculation that someone at the bar that night could have covered for Brian, carrying him out and disposing of him somewhere. After the case had gone cold, a local demolition company was hired to clear out the bar. That's when a bartender found a hidden compartment behind a pool table. Inside was a large amount of cash, some pills, a scale, and small plastic baggies, which could have been used to package drugs. The discovery renewed interest in the case, leading many to believe that the bar was a front for drug activity. However, the investigation uncovered no evidence that the bar was a front for any illegal activity. By all accounts, it was your typical neighborhood bar. The patrons were regular working folks who came to unwind after a hard day's work. In 2010, a grand jury was convened to determine if criminal charges were warranted. However, the panel did not issue any indictments, and the case remains unsolved. Brian's family and friends never stopped looking for answers. His father died in 2008, still hoping for resolution. And every year new tips trickle in, but nothing leads anywhere. His case remains one of the most baffling disappearances in U.S. history. No exit. No clue. Just a quiet whisper of someone who should still be here. This has been Whispers of the Unsolved. Subscribe for more softly spoken true stories, real, haunting, and never forgotten.